Well, good afternoon, race fans. Welcome to the surface of the sun. All kidding aside, unbelievably warm here in Austin, Texas this weekend. I think 102, probably more than that right now, trackside here. And, of course, with all the concrete and pavement around this track, it's just literally emanating heat everywhere. It is a warm one, especially for the crews, the teams. You see the umbrellas coming up and out right now. The sun, of course, beating down on the drivers here trackside. It is the USF Pro Championships here at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. And we've already had USF juniors onto the racetrack to get things underway. They've got their qualifying in the books. Jack Jeffers putting his exclusive Autosport machine on the pole for the first of three races in their finale weekend of the year. USF Pro 2000 here as well. So top and bottom of the USF Pro Championships presented by Cooper Tires Ladder System. My name's Rob Howden. Great to be here in Texas. It is an unbelievably warm one, as we had said, expecting temperatures to rise somewhere up potentially to 104, 105 this afternoon, maybe even a bit warmer tomorrow. So we are definitely putting the fitness regimes of our drivers at test. This is exactly why they put that time in at the gym, on the treadmills, hammering weights, in the sauna, whatever it may be, is to get ready for the tough conditions that you have up and down a racing schedule, especially here in the U.S., where we have so many different weather systems depending on where we're racing at. We have rain, we have sun. When you come to Texas in late August, you have to expect it to be warm, but it has been an unseasonably warm summer for them. Over 45 days, I believe, of 100-plus temps here in the Austin area. So it's been a warm one for sure. And in speaking with the drivers, tough when they get onto the racetrack. Tougher when they're stopped on pit lane on a red flag or to change tires. But at least when they're rolling, they got some of that air whistling through the cockpit, although I liken it to essentially breathing into and out of a hairdryer. That's the temperature that blows into your lungs. It's a very difficult challenge for the drivers here. So many storylines, not just the weather. Obviously, for these drivers in this USF Pro 2000 category, as they have for a majority of the year, chasing Miles Rowe, the driver there of the Pabst Racing Force, Indy number 99, who has pulled away as the first driver onto the track for this what is a 25-minute timed window, a 25-minute session. If we go green to checker, they'll get a max of 20 minutes of green flag qualifying time. Rowe rolls in here with an 81-point lead over Kiko Porto, 84 points over Salvador de Alba, and 93 points over both Joel Grandforce and Michael D'Orlando. Grandforce, again, part of the storyline of drivers who are not here with us this weekend. Joel Grandforce, not trackside. Risu Shijima, as we know, 11th in points, ended his season midway through the year. Yuvan Sundaramurthy has made the move to the Indy Next Series. We were excited to watch him race at Nashville, and he'll be back behind the wheel of his Able Motorsports machine at Portland as well. Bajoy Garg not here with us. Christian Weir, a number of drivers shutting down their 2023 campaigns as we head into the final two races of the weekend for USF Pro 2000. That is COTA, and of course next weekend in Portland. Quickest drivers, though, through testing yesterday and practice here this morning, straight up, Mac Clark was the fastest driver in practice, although D-Force Racing has been 1-2. Kiko Porto's been very strong. He topped both test sessions yesterday. Clark turned a flyer in at the end of the practice run to go P1, and that's a fantastic story, isn't it? Mac Clark, the young Canadian who was part of the inaugural season of USF Juniors in 2022, ended up winning the championship, came out of the gate with 4 straight victories for USF Juniors to go on to win the championship and the scholarship to move to USF 2000. He ended up running a USF 2000 race at Portland at the end of 2022 last year, was able to win there, winning in his debut in USF Juniors, winning in his debut of USF 2000. Has already won this year in the program as well, winning the Freedom 75 at Indianapolis Raceway Park, the Oval during the Memorial Day weekend Carb Night Classic. And here he is here, essentially testing the waters, dipping his toes, if you will. Do we make the move to USF Pro in 2024? Matt Clark from Canada obviously has shown good speed. He's been right there. Second half of the season in USF 2000 has been what we would have expected out of a driver of max talent. And rolling out here where D-Force has very good race cars here at COTA. He and Kiko Porto looking good. Kiko, another driver who will be making the move into the Indy Next Series, going to be running at Laguna Seca once again with Cape Motorsports. So it's so exciting to watch our drivers move from USF Pro 2000 up into Indy Next. That's why we do this. A number of people have messaged to me. They're like, what do you think about these guys leaving early? And I said, that's our job. That's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to make sure these drivers are prepared and ready to go. Some of them are battle for championships and top fives and top threes in the standings. Some of them learning along the way, and when they're ready and they get the opportunity, they make the move. And we're thrilled that we've seen a couple of drivers. Francesco Pizzi as well, another driver, made his debut at Nashville with Able Motorsports. So super excited to see these drivers making their move up. And again, that's what makes the Indy Next Series so strong, the fact that this USF Pro 2000 category has grown. You go back to 2018, there were 6 drivers who ran the full season in 2016 in what was then Pro Mazda. We've grown the program. We've got this new race car that we brought back out in 2018, then upgrade to the Halo in 2022. This is all about this car and the consistency of the package and developing young drivers, and that's why you're seeing Indy Next with more cars, because we're graduating more and more drivers out of Pro. Drivers on the racetrack here, just to throw it out here, a couple of the drivers to look for here this weekend. Frankie Mossman making his debut here with Jay Howard Driver Development in the number 6, and Avery Towns in the number 95 for Exclusive Autosport, getting better and better throughout the 2023 season. A rookie in USF 2000, electing to make the move up here into Pro, and really is loving this race car. We'll see what kind of speed we see out of him, but the bottom line is very happy driving this new race car. Feels it suits the way he drives the car around. So we'll see what happens here with Avery. That's him there to the left side of the screen, chasing one of the Turn 3 Motorsport cars. First lap's going in the books. The driver up top right now, another one of our USF 2000s who are testing the waters here. Nikita Johnson at Gulfport, Florida, will be running next weekend at Portland, as he's in the middle of a championship battle, and he's somewhere potentially. I don't know that he's going to be able to challenge Simon Sykes for the championship, but 100% first, second, or third, somewhere in the top 3 for Nikita. But like Matt Clark, he has been a revelation so far in the pace that he's put down through testing and practice. We'll see how qualifying plays out for Nikita. But the 15-year-old has been very impressive. A 2:04.2, fastest outlap of any of the drivers, ahead of Michael D'Orlando, last year's USF 2000 champion and multi-time winner on the season. Salvador de Alba in the 3rd spot. Miles Rowe 4th. Lucas St. Jean now up to 5th. There's the number 2 of Jonathan Brown, the Irishman. Matt Clark now to P1 on his outlap. 2:03.357 for Clark. So qualifying underway for the first of 2 races. A triple header for USF Juniors. Double header for USF Pro 2000. Of course, they'll run a triple header at Portland to cap off the season. So lots of points still up for grabs. And this is why Miles Rowe may not be able to lock it down. He's got a big lead of 81 points. He needs to lead by 100 points leaving for Portland. And in fact, with 4 wins to his credit, probably only needs, honestly, 99, because there's 99 points up for grabs, 33 per race at Portland. If he has a 100-point lead, he doesn't even need to go to Portland, and he still wins the championship. So his goal was to try to see if he can't outrun Kiko Porto and add essentially another 19 points to his total, although Kiko, being very strong this weekend, could push this thing a little farther. And again, even if he is 98 points back, it's not done. It's still up for grabs when we get to Portland. Matt Clark on top. A couple drivers starting to put their second lap in, including Miles Rowe in the number 99. He'll go to 3rd with a 2:04.225. Expecting these guys to get a number of laps, and right around that 2-minute mark for a lap. So expect 10, 11 laps potentially. A little lock up there for the number 40 of Jack William Miller. He'll be moving to the Indy Next Series in 2024 as well. They'll follow that Patterson Dental Miller Vinatieri Motorsports machine, the trademark red and white for Miller out of Carmel, Indiana. Miller currently 10th in points, in the middle of a scrap, I would say, with Jonathan Brown. May be able to get up to Jace Denmark with a really strong weekend, he and Liam Zendelli. And this is interesting. What will we see in terms of tire runs here? Here comes the number 4 back out onto the racetrack as well, Ricardo Scotto. Scotto currently 18th, coming into pit lane. He only has 1 fast lap in. Maybe an issue for him, potentially. There's the 8. Another one of our drivers from USF 2000 moving up to try the pro car here this weekend. George Garciarces. A little bit wild coming through the S's there. Tough part of this racetrack, as we all know, the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 section. just the S's, the rhythm section as you come over the hill of turn 1, sweeping down to turn number 2, then 3, 4, 5. Then you're a big sweep again to the right for 6. Then it's 7, 8, 9 again, those tight corners. 9's a tighter corner to roll through. Little kink through 10. And then all the way back to turn number 11. 11's that not quite 180, but pretty much. It leads you onto the back straightaway. The big long run down to turn number 12. Crucial passing opportunity. Getting a look at the camera angles that we'll have throughout the weekend here. Here we are coming down into turn number 12, down that long back straightaway. Heavy braking into the left-hander, but the only place you'll see the drivers go well wide out onto the painted area. The only place that we're using track limits here this weekend, for those of you who may have not tuned in to our USF Juniors broadcast, is turn number 19, which is the essentially final corner before you come through turn 20 onto the front straightaway. So there is one more corner, but you want to keep the drivers essentially within the outer white line. You'll see on the outside of the track there's a white line, then the white and red rumbles, and then the red stripe to the white. The white on the outside of the red stripe, they have to keep their left side tires inside that white stripe. It's going to be tough for some of these drivers as the car really unloads itself. I'm going to say drivers who are up to starting this session on Sticker Cooper tires, maybe just a quick little run, a couple laps in. With the temperatures where they are, again 102, 103 degrees, expecting maybe the same or even a little hotter tomorrow. Likely throwing a heat cycle on these tires right now, give them a chance to cure overnight. Tire management could come into play over what will be, again, a long race. 12 laps for juniors, 15 laps the duration of the races here for the drivers in this this pro category. So that's the kind of the interesting thing to me as well. 15 laps with a 40-minute window. That's a long haul here on a tough and very warm racetrack. It is going to be hot tomorrow, and they're just going to melt these tires down. So good idea to get in here, get them scrubbed. Fastest driver so far in the first set of tires, Matt Clark, 203.196. Kiko Porto, his teammate, in second, 0.3 back. Miles Rowe, P3. Nikita Johnson in fourth. Fifth, Michael D'Orlando. So the two drivers who we've seen be kind of up front there in the top 5 of USF 2000 all year, Matt Clark and Nikita Johnson, now first and fourth. So, again, the development level continuing. And not surprising, we see the drivers come through that year of USF 2000. I always point to, as you know, Road America being that kind of midway point for me where the rookies are no longer rookies. They've run a road course, a street circuit, and an oval by then. So by the time we get to Road America, those rookies in any program really are more like veteran sophomores at that point. But both Clark and Rose showing that they've learned a ton in USF 2000 and have dialed it up big time. Outside of D'Orlando in 5th, Chase Denmark currently 6th, Salvador de Alba in 7th, Liram Zendelli in 8th, Jordan Missig and Lucas St. Jean rounding out the top 10. That's your first sticker tire run. We'll see what happens now. A number of drivers back out. Carryover set of tires allowed to be used for the practice session this morning. Then you got to use the remainder of your race tires for qualifying in the race. Here's a Scoto with stickers you can see. One of the TJ speed cars slow coming up the hill. The idea is not to get him in the way. One of the drivers went around the outside of him. That may have been a hindrance there coming out to the top of the driver who was rolling into the corner. That was we'll see who that was who came around the outside and kind of jetted in front of one of the TJ speed cars. It may have gotten in the way of the driver could roll into the apex there. Well, race control will most certainly be watching that. As I like to do throughout the broadcast, say hello to those of you who have tuned in to our USF Pro Championships app or on the YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching the broadcast here, wherever you are around the world. We know, of course, we have such a wide group here, an international field in Pro 2000. You've got, of course, Jonathan Brown out of Ireland, so we say hello to our Irish fans. Ricardo Scoto from Mexico, as is George Garcia out of Guadalajara. They got the Canadians as well with Lucas St. Jean and Matt Clark. Hello to you. Brazil for Nicolas Monteiro and Kiko Porto. Salvador de Alba again from Mexico as well. Let's make sure I mention them. And, of course, a couple of Texans in the field. One primarily here in USF Pro, but a number in the junior category as well. Avery Towns, the Texan. This is his home state race. So, again, shout out to all those of you. Liram Zendelli as well from Germany. Great international field in the category this year, and we expect more of that to come in 2024 as, man, the field, everything's looking really good for 2024, which I'm super excited about. Obviously, USF Juniors with a bunch of new teams coming in. It's going to be, I think, up and down the entire USF Pro Championships, a banner year. Maybe, I would probably say, the best year we've ever had, because we're going to have great numbers. And obviously, we've got more numbers here in USF Pro 2000. Biggest numbers I think we've had in literally probably the 10 years we've had this series. We were at one point right around that 18, 19 mark, but 19 drivers here in this category this weekend. So, again, we are record numbers, high water numbers in pro, right around where we normally are in USF 2000. 16, 18 to 20 to 24. That one goes up and down, drivers moving up. And, of course, for the drivers in junior, 18 drivers in USF Juniors, our biggest juniors race ever. And I think we're going to see 22 to 24 next year. It's a super exciting time for this program. And big for the NTT IndyCar Series. This is the future right here. So Matt Clark still up there. Michael D'Orlando on his next run here has gone to P3. D'Orlando in the Turn 3 Motorsports number 1 at 2:03.845. Drivers here racing for a $1,500 Cooper Tire Pole Award. $1,500 to the pole sitter here for race number 1. And remember, fastest lap for race 1, second fastest lap for race number 2. So there really is, now we can't say that the second one's up for grabs yet, because for race 2, if you go faster than your second fastest qualifying lap, you can use your fastest lap in the race 1 instead. So we can't really award the pole for race 2 yet, but it's $1,500 forever sits atop the charts at the end of this run. Still 5 minutes remaining. Again, the drivers in USF Pro 2000, the Discount Tire Scholarship Program worth over $664,000 to move to Indy next. And the juniors and the Discount Tire Scholarship Program, $241,890. That is just under $242,000 to move to USF 2000. Amazing scholarship program, $1.6 million on offer in prize money and awards this year's program. Take the opportunity today to welcome the students from UTI Austin. Had a chance to take them on a couple of tours today. It was awesome to have them over at Exclusive Autosport to have a close look at the race cars. Avery Towns, who's on the racetrack here, was kindly enough to stop by and talk to our students from UTI Austin, who are all guests of the Discount Tire STEM program. Awesome to have the students with us here this weekend. If you want to be part of the nation's largest pit crew, visit discounttire.com to learn more about career opportunities throughout the USA. There's the number 7 right there, Matt Clark, hustling it around his first career weekend in USF Pro 2000, and a dazzling debut it has been so far. Fastest in practice, now leading in qualifying right now. In fact, he goes quicker on lap number 5, still 2/10 up on his teammate Matt Clark at 2:03.196. And I can't reiterate enough what it means to put at least 2 good laps in the books in this particular session. Remember, second fastest lap could be the lap you use for qualifying for race number 2. So if you're consistent, bang out a couple laps real close to each other, there's a big opportunity for you to potentially go pole for both races. Clark, Porto 1-2. Liram Zendelli in the TJ Motorsports machine has worked to the top. The German who races under the Albanian flag. It's been great to have Liram with us throughout the season. A winner at Road America, and Zendelli now in the 10 goes to P3. Salvador de Alba, the Mexican driver for Exclusive Autosport. In the Archandel number 91, he'll go to 4th over Michael D'Orlando. Miles Rowe back in 6th. And again, Miles knows he's just got to accumulate the points he needs when he gets to Portland. There's not a lot of pressure on him right now. Bang out some points. He's got such a major lead right now of 81. He needs to be ahead by 100 when he leaves the weekend. If he's not, he's got another chance. He needs to be ahead by 67 after race 1, 34 after race 2 in Portland. There's so many essentially checkmark boxes that he's able to get to win this championship. And Miles Rowe, listen, let's be real. He's done everything he needed to do to win a championship, right? Went on a great streak to start the season. 3 wins in the first 4 races. Went on a little run of top 5s through to the middle of the season, then won at Mid-Ohio and won at Toronto as well. So bang out a couple more wins to kind of pad that lead a little bit. Nikita Johnson just put a great lap down as well. He's gone to within 15 thousandths of a second of Clark. So the 2 drivers who are USF 2000 regulars are showing the guys that have been in USF Pro all year how it's done here at COTA. Clark and Nikita, 1 and 2. Wow. This bodes so well for 2024. I love it. Clark, Johnson, Porto, Zendelli, De Alba, top 5. I'm going to say this will be the final lap. Yeah, we're 1 minute and 21 seconds left, so this is it. All those drivers coming through turn 1 right now. This will be it. Final lap when they get back around. Clark, Porto. Porto goes back to second. Clark gets another big lap, 202.827. So if Clark can go faster again here in this lap, you got to think that he's going to have P1 and P1 for both races, at least provisionally for race number 2. Who else has jumped up here? Nikita into third. Ricardo Escoto, 6th. Good run for Ricardo in the J. Howard Driver Development number 4. Really strong run for Ricardo. Miles Rowe, 7th. De Orlando, 8th. Denmark, 9th. Jordan Missig, top 10. Frankie Mossman, 11th in his debut for J. Howard, up to 11th for Mossman. Jack William Miller, 12th. St. Jean, Pizzi, Brown, Garciarsis, Towns, Monteiro, and Brewer. I'm going to say final lap as they all work their way down now into turn number 12. Again, the USF Juniors race will be rolling here. Green flag set to go for 3:30. Broadcast will start likely around 3:20, 3:15, 3:20 Central Time. Hopefully you'll come back and join us for that one. Following the number 12 now of Kiko Porto. He's trying to find that little bit more that he needs. He's only back by about a 1/10 and a half. Time has run out, so checker flag will be shown when they get back to start-finish. This is crucial. One of the turn 3 cars coming into pit lane. Porto's rolling it. Kiko Porto pushing hard. Does he get a little bit more out of the D-Force machine coming across the line? Because Porto steal away the pole. Eyes glued on live timing. I don't believe he does. Everybody else coming across the line. Miles Rowe put his fast lap in last time, but does he go quicker on the final circuit? Clark still staying on top. Still waiting to see if we have any updates on live timing. Checker flag, as you can see, just as they come out of the final corner. Jordan Missig across the line as well. 10th for Jordan. He does not go quicker. Unsure whether a couple drivers could still be on the racetrack right now. I don't want to jump to the conclusion here now. Waiting to see if any other drivers have worked their way around the track. 19 in total. Putting the laps down. Here comes a couple more drivers indeed. That's Avery Towns across the line, currently in 18th with a 105.928. Let's see if he gets anything on his final circuit. He goes quicker at 8.94. Avery Towns able to go faster, but not quite enough. Still a number of drivers on the cool-down lap at this point. There's Nikita Johnson, the number 17. Nikita, 3rd. Miles Rowe jumping up into 4th. Lindsey Brewer, good final lap as well. She'll go to 17th. 205.835 for Lindsey Brewer. And again, I think that does it. So that means Matt Clark will be on the pole position. This time last year, he was winning the USF Juniors Championship. Fast forward 12 months, and he is now the pole sitter for race number 1 of USF Pro 2000. Been a good year in USF 2000 for the young Canadian at Campbellville, Ontario, Canada. But man, I'll tell you, Canadian open wheel fans, rise up, because you've got a driver to follow here for the next many years. Matt Clark is putting it down. Championship last year in juniors. That earned him the cover of Inside Track Motorsports News, the racing paper of Canada. We may have to see that again pretty soon. As Clark, as I said, a winner already this year in USF 2000. He'll roll off from pole position later on today for race number 1. What a run there for Matt Clark for D-Force Racing. In fact, D-Force locking out the front row with Clark alongside Kiko Porto. Those drivers separated by just over a 1/10 and a half. So Clark alongside Porto on row 1. Super impressive for the 15-year-old Nikita Johnson. USF 2000 regular in his debut here for VRD Racing. He goes P2, or P3 rather. Row 2, inside of that row alongside your championship point leader, Miles Rowe from Pabst Racing, who laid down a good lap on the final circuit to go to the outside of row number 2. Row 3, we'll see Liram Zendelli alongside Salvador de Alba. Row 4, Ricardo Escoto and Michael D'Orlando. And capping off your top 10, all Paps Racing, Jace Denmark and Jordan Missing. What a run there for Matt Clark. The speed of D4 shown from the minute they rolled off the trailer for the test sessions yesterday. They continued it this morning in practice as Clark was the fastest there. He did not let off the throttle. The Canadian will go on top and start from the pole position in the race this afternoon. Once again, that race for the USF Pro 2000 drivers, part of the Discount Tire Circuit of the Americas Grand Prix. Green flag at 5:20. We'll start the broadcast right around 10 after 5. Please, those of you here watching, come back and join us. This is going to be a barn burner for sure. The biggest field we've had in the USF Pro 2000 since we started the category back in 2013, picking up where Star Mazda had left off. This is going to be a fantastic battle. Thank you so much, folks, for tuning in here on the USF Pro Championships app or the YouTube channel. Again, we'll be back in a little bit of time here as we've got the drivers of USF Juniors rolling out. 3:20 Central start time for the broadcast of Race 1 of the triple header. Thanks for joining us here at the Circuit of the Americas. My name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.